Kumi, you spoke earlier about how you make decisions about what jobs to take. From August, you're going to head Amnesty International, globally renowned, fighting in the human rights space. What made you take that job, and what do you think you can achieve there?
Why I said yes was I reached that point of believing that right now, the best contribution that I could make based on what I've learned, the experiences I've had, skills and knowledge, is accepting the position at Amnesty. And I can tell you it's going to be a really difficult 24/7, living out of a suitcase job. I know what's in store,
yes,
but I'm also excited by the challenge because I think Amnesty is an organization that has a great track record. Just one very side note,
yes,
right? When I was struggling with the decision about whether to take the position or not, I had spoken to the chair of the board of Amnesty and on a Friday, and then as part of the process of thinking whether to apply or not, then I go for a meeting of Future South Africa, the civil society thing where I'm a patron, and it was at the Nelson Mandela Foundation boardroom. So I arrived not early, on time for the meeting, but people were a little bit late, so I opened my computer in the boardroom and I'm checking my email. And there were 4 emails related to the Amnesty International search, which I was just thinking about. And then I looked up at the Nelson Mandela Foundation boardroom and I was amazed to see that there was only 3 things on the wall. One was a portrait of Madiba, one was a landscape, and the third thing was a letter that Nelson Mandela wrote to Amnesty International in 1964.
Yeah. The universe speaks.
That they put there. And as I was looking, I looked up, I see this thing, I read the letter, and I thought, the old man speaking to me, so I wanted to give it a shot.
You started off what you said about Amnesty and human rights by referring to the African continent. And I want to quote you back something that you wrote at the time when Africans Rising was launched. You said, history, talking about Africa, and you said, history is not to blame for the human rights violations happening right now, for the gender inequality, for using fossil fuels when we have some of the best conditions for renewable energy. I took you to be saying that as Africans, we've got to be a lot more robust with ourselves and the degree to which we need to be responsible for what we're doing now. Yes, the past has shaped us, crippled us in many ways, but we've got to be a lot tougher on ourselves. Am I reading you right?
Absolutely. However, I'm not saying that we must de-historicize our current reality. I'm saying there are far too many people who want to wipe out the legacy of colonialism, apartheid, and so on, and as if it's not having an impact in the present. It is having an impact, and we need to deal with it sensitively. However, I am not prepared to accept from any political leader on our continent that colonialism is the reason why we tolerate violence against women and children. I'm not prepared to accept that the fact that it's taken so long to provide antiretroviral drugs to people who are living with HIV/AIDS is a problem of colonialism. Corruption. Don't tell me corruption, you need to steal because we had colonialism, right? So what I would say is that we have to be robust with our leaders. Overall, if I assess the leadership on the African continent, the African people deserve much, much better, much, much better, whether in South Africa or anywhere else on the continent. So my role, the way I see it, is opening up space for that new leadership to emerge. So the work that we've been doing with Africans Rising for Justice, Peace and Dignity is to open up space for young people to lead. And I feel that the older generation, I put myself in that, to a large extent, we've run out of fresh ideas, right? We mouth same things. We have all, what Martin Luther King said in 1965, we've all adjusted to injustice. And that's something we have to change.
You spoke about your activism as a young man. You talked about days of rage and understandably so. You're 53 now, so some time has elapsed. Does anger drive you at all anymore, or have you changed as an activist as you've moved through the gears? What are you now? In 4th, maybe 5th?
No, I think the anger phase was over even before I fled South Africa as a 22-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm driven right now by basically a deep love and affection and compassion for where I came from. We are in denial about the biggest problem, and that is inequality, right? If we do not address the question of inequality, we are destroyed as a society. And I would urge our leaders, especially those that claim to be progressive and radical and all of that, which to a large extent is absolute bull, right? That's just words, no action, right? And when I look at Malusi Gigaba's budget, and when we look at the crimes that have been committed by the ANC government over the last decade or so, why are we punishing the poor, right? How is it even possible, right, that the ANC leadership thought it was okay to use 245 million rands for the house for one individual?
Yes.
I think that if you living a lifestyle that is not a five-star lifestyle, but a 50-star lifestyle, and then you talk about the poor, and you say, I understand the poor's reality, I would say to a leadership, just because you have come from poverty does not give you a blank check to think that you understand what the reality of the poor is. If you want to live the most 1% lifestyle, then you need to understand that you're putting distance from where people's realities are and that you are not the best advocate. So therefore, with Cyril Ramaphosa, somebody who can spend 20 million rand on a buffalo thing raises concerns for me. And you know, when I look at the Marikana situation, for example, if I was Cyril Ramaphosa, I would actually look at the wealth that he has created, that he has earned, by being in the right place at the right time with the right connections and so on. Let's be blunt about it. Pay the compensation for the Marikana families from your own money if you want to really show atonement. Don't take it from taxpayer money. You have enough to actually do that. Do it.
Kumi, I want to finish by giving you 3 wishes. What's your wish for your daughter?
The only regret, it's not anger, it's only regret I have that I didn't have a childhood like many South Africans did. You know, because once you got involved at 15, and I want my daughter to enjoy all phases of her life, and I want all children to have the proper childhood and so on. But young people have to stand up because old people are not going to deliver the solutions that they need.
What's your wish for the community where you grew up, Chatsworth?
Oh, for Chatsworth and for all the townships in Durban, which I had the privilege of working in, I hope that service delivery would improve, violence levels will decline, that within 10 years, with the real application through a combined partnership between government and business, that all the townships in our country could be 100% powered by cheaper, cleaner solar and wind energy, and that we meet our obligations and so on. But I think overall, what we need in all our communities is for people to understand that we cannot put all our faith in politicians and we must become more active.
Kumi Naidoo, what's your wish for yourself?
Well, right now I just hope I survive the journey ahead of me.
Yes.
I hope I can continue to contribute as much as I can, and that my efforts I'll be able to see realize at a substantial level before I had to exit this place. You know, as Archbishop Desmond Tutu said some time ago, we are closer to the departure section than the arrival section at the airport right now.
Yeah, I think you're still at the travel agent, but still.
That's very kind of you. But, you know, I personally for myself is I just want to, I'm not interested in legacy. I'm not interested in, you know, exactly what people say. I just want to be able to contribute as effectively as I can and to do it in a way that honors my comrades that died, whether it is Jomo Mikizi and the Machabeni or whether it's Lenny Naidoo and others, to honor what they taught me and to do it with as greatest honesty and effectiveness as I can.
Kumi, many thanks for your time on Under the Skin. It's been great.
Thank you very much, John.